Previously with the Liberators.
And before he leaves, Jeffrey says, Sir, it appears that the Warforged Sabaton is on the outskirts of the camp again. Would you like me to shoo him off?
Yes, dispatch with him, Jeffrey. That would be great, thank you.
So the door crashes open, and two individuals step through. One of them is just a human man wearing the symbol for the High Oron lawman, and the other man is much larger, wearing big, billowing red robes, and he has piercingly bright green eyes. And as they move into the light of the inn, you can see that he's a very beefy, warforged man. His eyes are sweeping the crowd. For a moment, his eyes pass over you guys, and he's like,
"Lieutenant, stay there, stay right there."
And he's moving towards you, specifically Korak. He's moving towards you.
You round the corner and you see the whole temple, and you also see your brother Rinian standing at the top. And next to him is a tall but spindly Warforged with piercingly blue eyes. The Warforged has a strong grip on two people, Garasil and Talara. Another priest is shouting to the crowd about high treason. Shouting, and you guys hear the words,
Those bastards! They captured him! They captured Gauntlet!
And then the dome disappears. It is blackened inside, but Rinian's body remains on the altar. The Warforged, interestingly enough, is gone.
The first time I've been aware of it, but I do actually know who Father is, and I actually kind of know where my powers come from now, and I've formed a pact with him, more or less.
You gave up Ikabar and instead forged a pact with your father.
Yes.
You've done some brash things in your previous lives before Korak, but that really sucks. And she's like, you can see her like just shutting down. She's just like, my God, Garasil? She's like freaked out.
Do you know something about Garasil that I don't? Because, again, I have to remind you, I only know him in this life.
Korak said, my pact is with Garasil now.
Yeah.
She heard that, and she said, that really sucks. And what was on her mind at that moment was, don't you know that he killed your mother?
If this is your goal right now, to unite these shards, to get them together, then our goals align.
We can keep hopping around the world trying to find potential theories of where this goddess might live. We could keep hopping around the world trying to find Garasil, but we're not. It's the closest thing. The best chance we get is to try to get in there and get what we came for, to finish off this whole thing.
You always were an idealist, son.
I was raised by the best.
Oh.
As Galley takes you further and further east, you all take turns standing watch on the prow. The air is cool and inviting up here. You can smell the richness of the trees in the forest below, mingled with the salty air of the sea just to the south. You had your horse steward, Squishtop, the little Kenku sent to you by Doc some months ago to keep watch over your horses, send off letters to Doc and Landis to apprise them of the situation. The little steward had managed to procure a beautiful hawk for this task, although you're unsure of where he managed to pick it up. You all know what awaits you on the other end of this journey, and while you might have some slight jitters of anticipation, you are each strengthened by one another. You aren't going into this alone, and you aren't going for no reason. Medusa needs you. As shocking as her disappearance was, it's been an easier pill to swallow knowing exactly where she went. She's in trouble, but as of right now, not in mortal danger. It won't be an easy push to get her, but you know the enemy. As you pass off watch one by one to stand vigil, the only question that hangs on the air is, will Galley please stop singing for one damned minute?
I have a question.
Yo.
Is this enough of a rest for Rorin to be healed up from whatever damage
yeah,
Korak's dad did to me?
Benefited from a long rest.
You just call him Garasil, you don't have to call him Korak's dad.
Korak. No, they need that. They need that to be known.
At least when we're talking about damage, you know.
How much damage did Korak's daddy give me?
Oh my god.
Oh gosh. Why is that worse?
The Death Dad.
So I think we need to do some recon on the Shrike Temple before we just walk up to the front door and start knocking.
Ahead of time, then.
I have one idea. If you guys, I don't know, unless you guys have other better ideas.
Well, what's your idea? Then we could judge what's better.
We saw Medusa in there, right? We saw him walking through the halls and everything. I can send a projection. I'm not necessarily casting this, but I could project myself in there and maybe walk around and do some recon without actually being in any trouble. If I get in trouble, I'll just disappear, but I'll be here on the galley the whole time.
Is that something that would still trigger alarm if the guards see your projection?
That's a good question. It might. I've actually never used that spell before, but if I use disguise self before using project image, maybe a disguised version of myself will be projected. I could disguise as, we've seen what the Shrike Temple people look like. I can have something that resembles that to release me. We'll be able to walk through the halls and get a lay of the land. And if I remember right, we're looking for the goddess to find she has a shard of love in there, right? And then if Garasil, Korak's daddy, is in there, we could maybe incapacitate him and take his essence, god essence, out of him. I kind of turned to Sanagar for confirmation because I was kind of confused on how that works.
Sanagar's looking at you with like one eyebrow raised. He's like, "You want to incapacitate a god?"
Is that right? So what we need to do?
I mean, if you could strike one good strike with that needle, I don't know if you'll
Don't
be
we
able
have
to.
a big old needle to take his essence out?
Yeah, we got like a big old like Acme syringe or whatever to stab into him.
It's a bone marrow extraction needle.
I think my only concern would be regarding getting in there if Medusa is in any danger, and if us sending an image in that gets discovered is basically giving them a warning that we're coming. Like, do we want it when they discover we're there to be, we're ready to fight, we're already there, or do we risk running an illusion that tips them off to us coming in force?
That's a good point. They might raise their defenses if they see us. But didn't Garasil say something about raising the defenses already as he left?
True. Yeah.
So maybe he knows we're coming for him anyways, or...
I wonder if they'll make our entry easier then. They want us to get inside to wherever the trap will be. They might not have that much resistance until we're actually inside the temple.
Yeah. And Medusa being on the inside might be able to help us too. Maybe she can find some other, I don't know, a safer passage in or underground tunnel or side door or something.
Or you don't have to know like any super special entrances into this temple, do you?
Front door and many other doors that are noticeable. I don't know any secret ways in.
I don't know if Jeff would, because he's already been there.
Jeff, have you been there?
Yeah, I was held prisoners there.
Yeah. Okay. So roll history for me, Jeff.
Something to be good to remember about this whole narrative.
Let's see how well Jeff can remember his time in the.
Any insight on how to get in?
Oh, jeez. I'm an idiot. My mic's been muted. Jeff, roll history for me.
Let go of the bike and just shoved us down the hill for a little bit there.
can only think of that clip that Paul Rudd plays on Conan O'Brien all the time.
What's that stupid movie called? I can't remember.
25 good enough?
Jeez.
Jeff really knows his
What is
history.
happening? Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry. I'm fat thumbing so many. What the hell did I hit? F11. I hit F11 and it full screened my notes, and then I was like trying to get out of it. I'm a hot mess right now, guys. Okay, yeah, 25. So Jeff, you can very easily recall that you were brought in through like I won't say like a back door, but there's definitely like a side entrance that goes down into some of the lower dungeons, which is where you actually ended up, because when the adventure capitalists, wow, it's been forever since I played with them, when the adventure capitalists like came in, they were brought in to do an interview with the inquisitors, the temple's inquisitors, and you knew that because of where you were stored, like that was pretty far down in the dungeon, and now all of you were pretty much passed out for your like trek out of the temple, which miraculously you got out unscathed other than the initial fight. But you do remember that the side door that you were originally brought in from was, let's see, you were brought in because I think that you were caught somewhere around on the west side of the temple, so it's like, you know, over here. So Gally's gonna have to like cross either in front of or behind the temple in some way if you wanted to get to that door. There is the front door right here. The front door being here is probably where the most activity is going to be. It's pretty reasonable to assume that there might be another door on that side, and there may be, you know, Rorin's got some experience having seen some doors around in his travels over there. Rorin, if you want to roll history as well and assist this. 19. Okay. So let's see. Rorin, you distinctly remember that there's a patch of woods that overlooks, like, it's kind of up on a, not necessarily a hill, but it's not also not like, technically it's not a cliff. It's just a very steep incline. And there's a thicket that you had many conversations with your dryad mentor. And from that vantage point, you do remember definitely seeing different kinds of doors. There's a couple that caught your attention. With a 19, I'll definitely give you that there's a couple that you could recall looking like they probably lead somewhere down. They look more like cellar doors than doors going into the top side of the temple. And that would have been on the east side of the temple, because you never crossed like too far.
Right.
Say east.
I thought you said west.
Damn it, Chris.
So, I'd inform the team of that particular vantage point where there are some doors on that side on the east side of the temple. Cellar-looking doors.
Do you remember, are they guarded or just locked or just a roaming patrol or something?
I will say, back in those days, there really was no human activity that I saw until that one night where I had to, they just kind of all of a sudden bust out of the temple to attack Rivershroud. That's the only time I saw it. But I don't know what the status of their defenses are now.
Gob's plan is to make an image of himself dressed as a Shrike priest to what, suss out the defenses?
If I could get, we saw Medusa, Medusa inside the temple. If I could get inside the temple just to walk around and see if there's, a big central room with to keep their goddess, or if it's all underground, or if there's a series of guards, or if it's just empty hallways, or just to see kind of what it's like on the inside, what we're facing, if it's I don't know, something like that.
Well, I can
Just
go with
to-
you. I can disguise myself as well since I've been in there.
Well, the project image isn't really me being there. It's just like it's basically like Luke in the Last Jedi. I'm still on the ship, but
Fire everything!
I could go pick a fight with them at their front door and see if we could maybe draw as many guards to the front door, and then meanwhile we all sneak in the side or something. That might work too.
Okay, I want to be clear that this is all happening as you guys are still flying to the temple, right? Like you're all discussing this as you're flying to the temple. So,
Right.
okay. Let's pop over to Medusa real quick, if you guys don't mind. So Medusa, you've been down here for, I want to say, close to like 10 hours.
85 years.
At the 85 years. You've been down here as long as Rorin was exiled from Rivershroud. And you recognize the space that you're in. I think I already mentioned that. You recognize it as being like the Shrike temple. You bowled over some priests. So you're in this room. It's a pretty big vaulted room. There's a
I'm still next to the altar trying to pry.
there's like there's a stone in this mosaic that you can feel some energy coming off of. So on this altar, so behind you, there's like a raised platform that goes across the entire room. If you're turned around facing it on the far right side from you, the stairway that goes up to the top of this platform, like a catwalk type thing. It's broken. The stairs are totally shattered and broken. There's some statues all around this room. There's a really bright stained glass window pane above you. It's the light has been pouring down, and then it went away as night fell, and then as you kind of were here through the night, you know, different lights and things pass over it. You're assuming guard patrols and things like that. So it's hard to tell exactly where you are. You know you're underground somewhere, but you're wondering where all this light is coming from. And so it looks like maybe they have mirrors or something that direct light down through these stained glass windows. So you're attempting to pry a stone out of this mosaic on this altar. And the more that you try to get it out, the more you're realizing, I actually want you to roll an Arcana check for me.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't care about damaging the altar. I just want to get the stone out.
Yes.
What is that?
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
There's a really strong ward on this slab, this altar. You aren't making a single scratch. Not in any of the glass mosaic stones, not in like the weaker parts, the weaker looking parts of the altar, like if you had tried to go like ripping it apart. So you've really thrown like everything that you have at this thing, excuse me, over the course of the night. I don't know how often you'd be taking rests and things like that. But you cannot get this stone to budge. Now roll an investigation check as you're looking at this altar. This is just like something that's happened through the night, right?
Okay. Investigation.
So after searching around on this stone altar for a few hours, you notice that there's I'm trying to think. There's like a little section. You push a button and this little section comes out, and it like pops away from the stone altar. And there's a tiny little hole. Not tiny. It's probably like 1.5 inches round. And it looks like this hole goes into the center of the altar, and you can't really see the bottom of it because of the way that the light is in here. I don't know why Chris is giggling, but it worries me that I've said something. I'm now realizing that I'm describing a hole in this altar.
A bard would like this altar very much.
Damn it. I made a sex altar.
That checks out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there's it looks like something is looks like something's supposed to be put in here. God damn it, Chris.
It wasn't me.
You know what you did. Let's see. What are some other things you want to do to try out in here? Actually, I'm sorry. Roll another investigation check for the room in general. Okay. Well, there's a there's a
Did
big
one
door.
better.
There's a really big door on the other end of this room.
That's a nice door.
Yeah, it's etched with all this like really ornate like artworks, and there's some really cool not metal etchings, but like metal wire art. Does that make sense? Like copper wires, if they were bent and everything to make different patterns and designs and things like that. Anyway, this door has a really specific pattern on it, and it's not something that you notice right away. But I want you to roll. I was going to give you, depending on what your investigation check was, I'm going to have you roll a history as you look at this design on this door.
Yeah, I'm not a wizard, buddy.
You sure aren't. But you have been around a long time. And so...
I know a thing or two about doors.
Yeah. So, let's see. I think for right now, there's something about this design on this door that strikes a chord with you, but you don't know right away what it is. And so you kind of ruminate on that for a minute. What do you want to do while you're in this room?
You said there was a ward on the altar?
Yes.
Prevented me from damaging the altar to get the stone out.
Yes.
During my time, I would like to cast Dispel Magic to see if I could get rid of it.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Trip to the astral plane.
Here we go.
I mean, it is our favorite
Mm-hmm.
plane.
Do you have any magical items on you right now?
What do I have? I think I had like some lawn sword that had like, it was like a flying sword or something.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I have that.
So you cast Dispel Magic on this altar, and that magical sword, it was like it returned to you, right? It's like a boomerang almost. You could throw it and it would return.
It like flies around and can like attack people.
Yeah. Well, you weren't using that, were you?
No, did it really get a chance to?
Okay. Well, you cast Dispel Magic, and that sword rips its sheath from your side where you're storing it. And the entire thing flies across the room and embeds itself into a stone. Like a stone brick. And it blasted off with some serious force. And the altar remains unchanged.
Maybe I'll try getting in contact with Rendrag, see if he knows what could possibly take off this spell. Maybe something to do with this very sexualized slot here. I don't know what the Shrike Temple are into, but cultists in general kind of creep me out, so not getting a lot of good vibes over here.
So let's see. I know that because the thing with Rendrag is that he's one of the old shards, right? And Medusa's been around long enough to have that connection with him. Well, right now you can't feel that connection at all. You are as cut off as you have ever been.
Ah. Okay, so he was only guiding me to a point, and I just got to an area where his influence or like that connection is limited. Okay. Could I investigate this slot, maybe get an idea? Is it like some kind of key, or like would I be able to kind of have an idea of what kind of item I would be looking for?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it's a key, like a slot for a key necessarily. It's too big around. It almost looks like you could put like a torch handle in there or something.
I guess I'll look around the room looking for like torch-like objects.
Yeah. No, there's nothing like all the light that is here has come from the skylight type thing. All the stained glass windows that are.
Any furniture or compartments, anything to rifle through?
That's a good question. There's like I said, there's a bunch of broken statues. There's a lot of rubble on the ground.
Would I be able to know the statues at all?
Yeah,
the
statues all look like different representations of Well, let's see. So if you turn around from the altar, to your right, there's a representation of the god Handelhan. He's holding a book, and to your left, there's a representation of the goddess Virma, but it's smashed on the ground. It's been like torn out of its like it's like got a little space that's been carved into the wall. It's been like torn out of that space and smashed on the ground. And then if you walk through, like underneath this walkway that goes above your head, to your right, there's a crumbled and broken statue of Korg. It looks like it has not been taken care of very well. And to your left, there's a statue of Garasil. It has his arms stretched out like he's holding something, but there's nothing in his hand. And I think at this point, like when you're doing all this investigation, we're getting a little bit into the early hours of the morning now. And as you walk around this room looking for something, there's the sound of Warforged footsteps. They're not like, it's distinct from armor. Like you've been around enough of people in armor and enough like Warforged in your time to know the difference. You hear the footsteps of Warforged feet, like sort of, it's muffled, but you can distinctly hear the sound patterns that they make. I want you to roll one more investigation check as you listen to that.
Oh, okay. Now you're awake.
That's much better.
Where were you?
Something strange about these particular Warforged footfalls is that they definitely sound a little bit lighter than you're used to seeing or hearing. Can't quite put your finger on it, but it doesn't feel like as heavy of a footfall as you're used to hearing.
As I'm going around the room, looking if anything could possibly help me out with this altar, could I detect magic, see if anything else besides the altar, obviously, in the stone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything popping up?
Yes, something other than the like oozing of magic that's coming from the altar behind you. That's a lot more subtle than other things. There's obviously some like innate magic within you that's giving off some pulses, but also something above you catches your eye. And you look up and you realize just how high this room is. The ceiling is going really, really, really far up. But there appears to be some glinting light off of a couple objects lodged into the ceiling. And they're giving off a little bit of a magic aura.
Any school of magic from that? I can tell?
There's an abjuration school. There's an illusion school. There's a transmutation. There's what's the one for teleporting? Anyway,
Conjuration.
Conjuration. Thank you. There's a couple different schools of magic that are floating around up there. And then as you're looking up, you hear those footfalls get a little bit closer, and then the door on the far end of the room, that one with the ornate symbol on it that you couldn't quite recognize, begins to make a sound. There's a bunch of clicking sounds, and there's something that sounds like some gears being turned, and it begins to move, and that's when you finally recognize that symbol. You know that symbol denotes this is a really important room. It's basically reserved for only high-ranking members of the Shrike cult, and you only recognize it because you had at one point, when you started a cult yourself, had taken some liberties and created a little bit of a room like this, and the door begins to open, and the thing that really caught your attention about the symbol is it's not just that, hey, this room is special, but that this is like the other side of a lock that can only be opened by either the temple's High Inquisitor or the temple's Archpriest. And the door begins to swing open, and we're going to cut back to the others now on Galley. As you guys have been planning, Galley's been getting closer and closer to the temple. As you reach into the early morning hours, Galley ends up cresting one of the final big hills and you can see the temple in all of its terrible glory as it sort of looms ahead of you. Now, go ahead and roll perception for me. You guys crest, and there's a couple different flags out.
Yikes.
Out front. Jeff has forgotten to look with his eyes. Everyone looked out, and he did like the what's his name, Chang from Community, where he's like a tiny piece of paper, where he's just like squinting, but his eyes are shut. Anyway, that's not really the important thing. The important thing is that
I understood that reference.
there's a couple bodies of people. There's like a large group of people standing in a formation, and they have some flags out. Now, Randy, you're gonna recognize those as war banners. So you're going to see immediately that the Shrike temple looks like there, because the colors of the flag are the Shrike's colors, right? Ignis, you definitely notice like you can recognize that it's a war. Like, you've seen formations before. You've been in a military. You've been in a like different types of mercenary work. You work with soldiers all the time. This is something you recognize. Now, you recognize the colors specifically as being like, and I'm giving this to you because you are the soldier of the party. You've seen these colors in battle before, and you know that this is like an actual like main attack force. This is not like scouting party colors or anything like that on this banner that they've got hefted up. This is like, the Shrike Temple is like amassing for war right now. Whatever, like any soldiers they have are beginning to gather out front. It occurs to you that you're on a flying ship now, and you might be far away, but you're close enough to be seen. What are you guys going to tell Galley at this point? Are you doing anything, or are you just kind of coming in?
Do you guys want to head to the thicket and do some covert reconnaissance, or do you guys want to head to the front door with the big distraction and let them know we're here? What was the plan we ended up deciding on?
I'd rather go through the thicket.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting pretty serious up front, so I think going an alternate route would probably be good.
Well, let's tell Galley to drop behind some trees then. Stay out of sight of the main army. You got that, Galley?
Yeah, bros, no problem. I got it. I'll just duck into these trees. And then he's like flies into the trees, and he's going as he's doing it, dodging between trees and getting lower and lower. There's like some really huge fir trees in this like forest here, and he ends up bumping up against a couple of them, and he's like, "Hope, sorry, bros. Don't mean to get bumpy, but here we go."
He's the best.
We're so covert.
I also want to send my familiar owl just over to see if they can notice anything that we missed.
Okay.
A little more discreetly than a huge flying ship. I don't know. I guess like how many like general numbers in each of these bodies of people, and how many, and I don't know if they're looking like they're ready to take off right away, or if they're still like assembling all their supplies and still, getting ready to go, or if they're like, ready to march at any minute, that sort of stuff. Is what I'm looking specifically for. How much time do we have?
Okay. Go ahead, and as you send your owl out, then roll a investigation roll for me.
Does this rely on hearing and sight?
Yes. Okay, so I'm guessing because you can like see through his eyes, right?
Yeah.
But you're still aware of your surroundings?
I think so. I have to look at the spell specifically, but
okay.
So is
it safe to say that you're like calling out to the others what you're seeing?
Yeah, whatever you tell me, I retell everyone else that we're with.
Cool. So you see a couple different groups of people that look like they're important. A few of them having like a 4-pointed star that sits on one of its tips, surrounded by oak leaves, like stitched onto his battle tunic. Ignis is able to tell you that those are like their generals, as you're looking for. So there's 5 of those walking around helping amass the troops. Now you count, just like in a very general way, you're counting like more than like 50,000 troops beginning to kind of mass out front. With the 18, you can see that the city of High Oron is starting to bring out some war banners of their own, like, as I'm guessing, because Thor, like, as you fly him up to kind of like bring him in stealthily, he can look over at High Oron and you see some banners, and the colors of those banners you recognize match both the colors of High Oron, but they also match the colors of the Primarch, as he's like bringing his people out to meet that. And so you can identify 5 generals who are like helping direct things. There's a couple colonels, couple commanders, a bunch of lieutenants, captains, etc. You're able to like place them all, and Ignis is helping you to identify what each of those ranks are. I don't know, are you like making a map of them, or just keeping a tally, or
It's just taking a general tally.
okay?
I just wanted to see, like, are they about to move out, or are they still like gathering supplies? Like, are their bedrolls all packed, or are they still like, looks like they're still preparing?
Yeah, so they're staging right now.
Okay.
But it's likely that they will begin marching before the end of the day, because it's only like a 6-hour march into High Oron.
Okay, and it's early morning right now, is there?
Yeah.
So yeah, I turn to the rest of the group and say, I suggest we don't use the front door.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Agreed. But maybe with all this commotion in the front, we might be able to, sneak far unnoticed through the side door and find what we're looking for without drawing too much attention.
Let's do it.
On that note, you guys are kind of like deciding to move in, and all of a sudden there's a tiny little, and you look over, and Malachi is perched on a nearby railing. And
With that pop, Rorin pulled out his hand crossbow just in case.
Yeah, big difference is that Garasil didn't make a noise. He just kind of froze time and then appeared. So yeah, Malachi's just sitting nearby looking at you guys. Korak, he's kind of got his eyes focused on you. And he's like,
"You sent for me?"
Oh yeah, hey. Was that like a few hours ago, or?
Yeah, just like in the evening, the night before.
Yeah. So we think one, if not both, of the last 2 shards are in that building behind that group of 50,000 mean-looking people who probably don't like us.
Yeah, probably not.
I think we're gonna take a side door. We're down 1 body.
So
let's
wait,
say it was...
wait, hang on, back up. Why in God's name are you attacking the Shrike's temple?
Well, we're not. It's probably gonna turn into attack. Right now, it's more like we're sneaking in. But our friend is in there. That's the main reason we're going in there. But second to that is that we think the last 2 shards of Malar are in there.
Oh wow, you guys have been busy since we talked last. The last time we talked, it was just about finding pieces of the djinn, right? Now you're talking about putting Malar back together? That's cool. Man, it's been a spell, huh? I guess I should have been a recurring character a little more often.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, a lot has happened.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it sounds like it. I've been out and about. I went to this cool plane where there's this cool alternate reality where there was like a bunch of samurai people, and there's some kind of purple goo, I think. It was weird. I spent some time there. I met some weirdos, and did some cool stuff and learned a little bit about the other magics. I think I've got some things that can help us. We'll see. Any progress on your machine?
Which machine were you talking about?
Really?
The one back in the college?
Yeah, the machine that we talked about. You guys said that you think that you had a machine that could free the djinn, right? and you're just getting some parts for it. You said you only needed like maybe another day or two to get the last part.
It feels like that SpongeBob episode. Oh yeah, that was a bomb. These are bomb pies. Yeah. So funny. I have it on pretty good information, pretty good authority that that machine that we were gonna put together actually would have destroyed the gin.
His jaw kind of drops down like.
That little detail was omitted to most of us, and only recently have we kind of cleared the air about that. And the person who gave us the information also really doesn't want us to have the last two pieces, so I have a good feeling that he's holed up in there.
Well, that's unfortunate. The way you guys were describing this machine, it sounds like it could do the job. But
We still have the parts.
It's true.
I bet you. How hard do you think it would be to get the machine and get me a look at it? I might be able to do some mumbo jumbo to get it to work. In fact, something I studied on one of the other planes I was in might help me with this. I bet we could still get it to work.
I bet you we wouldn't have to go through 50,000 cultists to get back into the college. That machine was quite a ways underground, though. Well, it wasn't like a secret lab.
We don't need it right now. If we need to help your friend, I can help with that too.
And he looks at you, Korak, again, and he's like,
something seems different about you. Did something change? You seem...
And he like kind of comes over to you and he's like, and he's like,
your magic's changed. You don't have a pact anymore.
Yeah, so this is a new jacket. Yeah, thank you for noticing. My hair's the same though, new jacket. Yeah, is that how you would describe it? Am I? And I kind of look worried. Am I pactless? Is that because I can still summon the Arcana. I still feel like myself, but there is a hole somewhere in me. And I'm not trying to be poetic. There's a hole somewhere on my body. Like it feels weird. You know, something's missing. Like
you can still cast spells and touch the arcane because I mean you're like mostly God. I mean, you know, like don't expect me to worship you or anything, but I mean that is what you are. So it's no wonder you can still use it. But I imagine there's some things you're missing now that normally come with well, I don't want to call it selling your soul, but
it's a mutual agreement that it does involve the soul. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm sorry that happened. I'll see what I can do about your friend.
And this is like, so I realize I'm not being super clear about it, but like Korak, this is your time to try to sell yourself to Malachi.
Yeah. And I think Korak might have been thinking about that too when he sent the message. He wasn't gonna throw that on there. Well, do you know, Malachi? Do you know that previous pact I had? Do you remember when you last saw me? Was the pact on me feeling more Elder God-y, or was it feeling more God of Deathy? Because I've been through 2 pacts actually.
No, yeah, it definitely felt like something here. I couldn't feel the touch of Ichabod on you at all. Well, maybe a little bit, but I assume it's from that book that you had that's no longer with you. Did you know that thing was watching you everywhere you went?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Shit. That was kind of part of the pact, and kind of not really a great point of the agreement. But in your travels, have you ever met anyone who's had multiple pacts in the same lifetime?
Multiple pacts? Yeah. Not very many people, but there's been some people. It doesn't happen a lot. It's a tough process. That's really hard on people when you give that much of yourself to another being, you know? I mean, I don't have to tell you. Most people don't survive after the first pact.
There's not too many times that I really feel my blood like I have when I've entered the pact, or when I've cast a spell, or when I've come close to dying. And maybe that's what it is. My blood feels lighter right now without a pact. I'm used to having a greater presence, channeling itself through me. I can go down there and I can do absolutely everything I can to save our friends, to try and find these last two pieces, to try and make sense of this whole Jin crisis. But I have a bad feeling that I'm going in slightly underprepared without a pact. It's been lifetimes since I've fought without a pact. And chance has it, you're probably one of the, no offense, oldest, most interesting things on this vessel right now. And I'm willing to bet you have a lot of power you haven't exactly shared with us. Maybe it's temporary, maybe it's something we can work out later, but I need you to share your power with me.
He looks really, I mean, he's just like a tiny mouth and like two really giant eyes on this like little body, right? Like he's basically just a little pangolin sort of a thing without the armor. But he looks pretty uncomfortable when you ask that. He's like,
You know, the Jinn didn't usually get involved with the common folk. And I don't mean to say that as like you're just one of the common folk. Like, you're clearly exceptional. I used to be, I actually have to admit, I used to be a pretty big fan of yours. Back when you were leading that crusade against the Shadow Realm. I suppose I could make an exception.
he's having this like internal argument with himself right now.
Like, I know it's a lot to ask, and trust me, I'm only asking because we're literally getting ready to like jump off this ship and get into it. Like, we're talking potentially 50,000 people down there. It actually does kind of remind me of what it was like to chase down those unsavories into the Shadow Realm. Maybe consider it a trial offer. I know the Jinn don't share their powers lightly, and as you said, common folk. If for any reason, whatever happens in this next several hours just doesn't feel right to you, you take back what is rightfully yours. But in the meantime, how about you give me a trial run? I can guarantee I'm not going to feel like a common folk.
He's thinking about it. You can see it in his posture. And he looks up at you and he's like,
Okay, let's say I do this. I'm the last Jinn. Are we gonna be able to get the rest of them out? Can we free all my kin? Can we make that happen?
I kind of look at the rest of the group as I answer. I think that's what we're trying to do. I think that's kind of where our road is leading us now. It sounds like we might have a decent plan after finding these last two pieces and how to potentially free them and not just destroy or control them.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
They don't call us the Liberators for nothing.
Have we liberated anything yet?
Liberated food into your
We've
stomach.
We've liberated Galley. Look all the good that caused us.
We've liberated our enemies from their lives.
You assisted in the liberation of Master's Point.
And we liberate Renee Kawahara's daughter too. We did good stuff too. Where did she die? But yes, we will free the Jinn if we can. If we have the power to.
He looks around and he's like,
Okay. I have one condition. If you figure out who it was that put all my people away, I want to sucker punch him right in the nose.
I think that could be arranged.
Would you settle for his next of kin?
Does Korak actually say that?
Actually, I was gonna say meta. I'm sorry, Asa. Do we know that? Was that did he seal them away? Is that known? I'm trying to remember. I get the Jinn and the gods mixed up a lot.
It's something that you know as Korak that Garasil's the one who did it. I don't remember if you shared that with everybody else. Although I kind of think you did.
I thought I did, and I'm trying to remember because I think
it was on your way to Rivershroud.
I keep getting mixed up with the shattering and like when exactly the Jinn were sealed away, like when that occurred.
Yeah, it happened much later than the shattering.
Okay.
The shattering happened, and there was a time when it was just like the new gods were being ascended, and everyone was trying to figure out what the hell was going on because the world was in chaos. But Korak hadn't, I don't think, I'm trying to think if Korak would have, from the time that he was leading the charge for the rift into the Shadow Realm, like that was over near Harpcry. And when the gods were shattered, it ended up sealing off the portal, which helped like end the war. And I believe Korak died then sometime during that battle. And man, that's actually like, I don't really know how much of this we touched on, but like because of what happened, everything was just in chaos. Like you were supposed to have received backup from the Jinn, and they ended up not helping, I think. They like turned away. You died from wounds, and then when you came back was like a couple 100 years later, I think. And I believe by that point they were sealed away.
Yeah, maybe I would add to that if he asks about wanting to know or wanting to hurt the one that sealed away is Malachi, if it helps, if it's a kind of an offering of good faith. I'm in an inconvenient position of kind of being an unknowing and partially knowing accessory to basically all the horrible things that have happened to the Jinn.
What are you talking about?
So there's two pieces down there in that building. We're pretty sure one of them is in there, and it's my mother. It's Love, the old god. The second piece is my very much alive father, Garasil. And Garasil seems very scared of something I've been involved with. And he thinks the reason why his fear is justified was your kin were attracting this insatiable hunger. And we all know it now, but my father, Garasil, was the one who sealed away the Jinn. And I believe my father has associates back in Edgemire whose arcane machine would finish what he started, would destroy the Jinn if we continue to aid him. And I say this now because we're potentially minutes away from storming in there and trying to stop my father from doing this.
Man. You watch his demeanor go from curious to disheartened to angry to... I mean, it's hard to tell on his little tiny form, but he goes through a lot of different emotions very quickly. And then he looks at you and he's like,
thanks for telling me.
And then he kind of he almost like slumps a little bit on this little post that he's sitting on. He's like,
that's the first solid bit of information that was offered to me, honestly. I'll help you, Korak. You gotta let me punch your dad, but I'll help you.
Get in line, buddy.
Well, yeah, I think there's a cue. I think I would actually jump up on the post while he's saying this. Was Garasil anything to your people? Was he an ally of the Jinn?
I didn't associate myself with many of the gods for a long time. Not really. It was kind of inconsequential, but they had all been here a long time before my people appeared, and they felt like they knew us and we felt like we knew them, and Garasil was the least of those that I wanted to try to get to know. He always seemed too big for his pants. I wouldn't say he was an enemy of the Jinn, no, but I do remember him withdrawing somewhere shortly before the rest of the gods were wiped out.
I think he did what he did out of a twisted sense of fear and righteousness and being ignored by his council. But it's been a very long time. I think now that there's other options to just hiding everything in this world that's powerful except him, he wants out. And there's part of me that might have done the same reason as him if the circumstances were different. Might have done the same thing. But I am fortunately not in that position. Thank you for trusting me. And I'm sorry for keeping this information. And I'm kind of actually looking at the rest of the party when I'm saying this too, that a lot of this is stuff I've only been kind of discovering recently and understanding recently, but some of this is stuff I have been sitting on for a while. And I do regret that. But what's done is done.
Well, we can't change the past. Let's look to the future. Let me go get some help for your friend, and I'll meet you all down there.
Right.
And he there's a little, and he disappears.
I swear, if Liberator Pikachu doesn't get a hug, I will be upset. I will be cross.
Okay. What are you guys doing? You're heading for that thicket, right?
Right.
So during this time, Gally's been finding a good place to settle down. He's just doing his thing. Oh yeah, this is cool. Zoom, zoom. Oh. I ate a seagull there, bros. I think I found a good spot right here to settle down. And lands in a small clearing. Rorin, you actually recognize the clearing just because you've been through these woods so many times as a kid. So Gally opens his mouth, and the little doorway ladder extends so you guys can walk out of his mouth to the ground.
Good Lord.
Because I just need the body horror in this campaign.
Are the steps his tongue?
Yeah.
Oh.
When he's landed, otherwise it turns into a rope ladder.
Chris.
As you guys make your way into this thicket that's nearby that Rorin knows really well, you go. Oh, perception. Sorry, Rorin with that 20. Yeah, like this is definitely a path that you've walked before. You're actually pretty impressed that Gally was able to like set down in this spot. Roll survival for me with advantage. So yeah, would you easily navigate everybody to the spot that you actually remember having like this meeting with your Dryad friend?
And I'm like telling them all the life lessons that he shared with me at those specific points.
So yeah, you guys, you enter this thicket. Rorin, you actually recognize, there's like one of the trees nearby. You recognize it as being the one that you're pretty sure your Dryad mentor like took control of, because even though he's technically like he's a Dryad, he's supposed to have one body. Like it was pretty clear that a lot of times there must be like some kind of a spirit that was inhabiting the trees, because he wasn't always in the same tree form. You recognize the one that you had spoken to with him. Go ahead and roll investigation as you look at this. It's a tree.
I remember this tree.
There's a couple branches that are spread out in a kind of a interesting fashion, but nothing of note. You can see the Shrike temple from here, this side, like the side of it, and off to the south. There's a big dust cloud of where you know that army is massing. Advantage. Oh god. Okay, so as you're kind of falling into perimeter control, you almost walk right into a guard, a Shrike like scout, perimeter scout, with a tiny little crossbow at his he's got it pointed down. He looks like he hasn't really been paying attention, but you were like right on top of him before you notice him.
Did I like walk away from the group to do the perimeter check?
Yeah, well, not like super far, but like you're just kind of making sure that the thicket is secure.
Probably like try to be a little incognito, because I don't want to like startle them and like try to attack or anything right off the bat.
Yeah.
Probably just try to keep an eye on them. make sure he doesn't like go into our general direction.
Okay. Yeah, he's like looking at the ground and picking up twigs and snapping them and throwing rocks, and he looks like he's probably just like late teens, early adulthood. Real young human kid. Just kind of wandering, definitely not taking this, whatever he's doing, not taking it seriously. So far he's not wandering in your direction. But where there's one, there might be more. Do you want to search for more, or do you just keeping an eye on him?
I'd probably report it back at least,
Okay.
so everyone knows that this isn't an empty area. Like we have to keep our guard up while we're here, and probably continue the perimeter check.
Cool. Okay, roll another perception with advantage, please, as you do the rest of the perimeter check. Okay, yeah. So you spot 2 other patrols, but they're a lot further out than this kid. You can spot them because they're still wearing their bright red cloaks, the Shrike colors. They're quite a bit further away. There's one group though that is heading in the direction of where you left Galley.
He didn't take off. He's still sitting there.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he was gonna wait for you guys to come back. Unless you I guess, did you guys specify for him to leave again, or
Nope.
I don't know if we said.
Yeah, I guess we didn't. We didn't say yes or no. Should probably go back and
he never
say,
asked.
"Hey, leave so you don't get caught."
Look, a cricket.
Are we still like in range to tell him, or are we like too far to talk to Galley now?
With your stones of far speech?
Oh, so we can tell him from anywhere?
Yeah.
You think they would see him take off though?
That's a good question.
I can't search him though if they see him or like board him or anything.
That's true. Let's just shove them in the galley's mouth. When they
Yeah, Galley could eat him too, probably. So.
Actually, yeah. Should we just tell him there's a patrol coming up? Do what you want.
There's lunch. We sent lunch this way.
I love that everyone's Mr. Webby is showing right now.
Shall we feed him to the ship?
Yeah. Galley, be honest. Do you miss eating people?
So over the Stone of Far speech, you hear, not really. Not really. I don't really miss eating people a whole lot. And in the distance, you hear, not really. Eating people a whole lot. He's talking so loud, you can hear the reverberation of his speech.
How many scouts was it? Just 2?
there was 2 scouts, and there was that one like kid that Ignis had saw that was nearby, and you hear him go. You actually hear him like he's close enough. Oh well, maybe not close enough. Ignis, if you're keeping an eye on him, you'd see him startle, go "What the?" and like run off in that direction. If you guys need me to eat people, I can do that. That's not a problem.
It's either do that or like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just go. Do you want me just to go? Do you want me to wait for you? You want me to come pick you up later?
Yeah, maybe. What do you guys think? Maybe we should just tell him to go.
Yeah, just try not to be seen by the armies of Shrike's people.
Okay.
So when we need to.
You tell him that, he's like, "No problem, bros," and you're "No problem, bros." And then and there's a sound that's like, but it's like a lot louder than that, and sounds like it was made by an actual like horn. And then and you see the little off in the distance, about like through the tree gaps, you can see the giant. I don't know what you call it, the big parachute thing that he's got above him that's helping suspend him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell you'd call that, the blimp apparatus. Anyway, you see that like kind of go, and you hear some distant shouting that sounds like those other patrols that are shouting about intruder flying away type of a thing. But they're moving away from you still.
God will make us all look like Shrike cultists. Seeming.
Okay.
This might buy us a little bit of time.
Okay.
Let's make our way to the temple while they're
Neat.
seeking the flying ship.
Sounds good.
Cool. So you guys make your way down. There's not a whole lot of like you bump into maybe one patrol. If you could just make Gob, since you're the one who cast the spell, could you roll a performance check for me? Just to see how this goes. And you know what? And because you're roll it with advantage because you have this like illusion going on that's making you look legit.
Yikes. Oh no.
The dice have spoken.
Everything okay over here? How about you?
Okay. How about this? These guys stop you and they're like, I've never seen you around here. Who the hell are you? There's like 3 guys. They're holding halberds as they're patrolling around, and they stop you. They're like, "Are you new? Are you new acolytes or something?"
Hello, friends.
Oh boy.
Oh, but
Oh boy.
We're just here on business.
Oh boy.
When was
Wisdom
that?
saving throw. Wisdom saving throw. Okay, that's 3 guys. So 1, a 2, a 3. Does a 16 pass?
No, my spell save DC is 18.
Yeah, okay. So they're all like this. The one guy who's been talking goes, "Oh, hey, what's up? You guys just heading on in? Is that what's going on?" That's cool.
Just passing through, friend.
I like it. Hey, you be safe out there. There's reports of a flying ship around here. You ever seen one of those? That's pretty cool.
No,
I'd like
we'll have
one.
to check that out on the way out.
Okay, yeah, be safe. He tips his hat, and you guys walk into the Shrike Temple.
Thanks,
via
Jeff.
the side route.
I swear that better not be a Fedora.
Talk out of this side of my mouth, Jeff. Thank you.
All right, you guys get into the temple, and you begin to make your way down. It's pretty empty for the most part. At the very least, just like some general acolytes kind of wandering around. They all look pretty young for the most part. Nobody's bothering you because you all look intimidating as hell. And yeah, there's not a lot of soldiers, and you imagine that's because they're either patrolling outside or massing for the big offensive. So you start making your way to staircases. You all know that Medusa is downward, right? Like somewhere in the lower levels from your scrying. And I want who's leading this thing? Who's in front?
apparently Rorin. Or excuse me.
That's real to you.
I was going to suggest Ignis leads, but...
Put the big guy up front.
Yeah, let's put the big guy up front.
Doesn't
Actually,
matter.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm wondering if I could throw out the locate creature spell to find Medusa.
Okay.
And help just be behind Ignis and like help us navigate.
Yeah. Okay.
Based on this spell.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. So then Ignis, make another perception check for me. As you guys are kind of making your way down some stairs.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
He's too big, he can't hurt that.
Okay, well, Rorin, you are guiding Ignis, letting him know that you need to turn a corner because there's I don't know. This is essentially like your GPS. I could just tell you, it tells you Medusa's downward. Because she definitely is, but I'd like to be a little bit more helpful than that. Why don't you roll an Arcana check, Rorin?
Okay.
Ignis recognizes that you all look like Shrike cultists. That's what he perceives.
Wait a minute.
Wait a
Something's
minute.
off here.
Must have been the wind.
Didn't realize that we cast a spell.
Why am I in robes?
God, what the hell, man? Okay, yeah, Rorin, with this 28, it's very clear that like you're getting specific instructions on this locate person, locate creature, whatever, and it's letting you know, like, you know, there's a stairwell coming up over here that it's basically telling you like these are the possible ways that you can get there. Like you could turn right here, you could continue straight and turn left up there. If you go around this way, there'll be a stairwell that'll take you down there. That's to a section that'll be a little bit longer to get there. But like, I don't know, you're getting like these different feelings like of all the different ways you could go to get there, right? If that makes sense.
I am Siri.
Okay, so you turn a corner, you go down a stairwell, and as you get to the bottom of this stairwell, looking down a pretty long corridor that actually looks like it used to be a like a crypt of some kind, maybe. It's not particularly long, but sorry, I gotta make some adjustments here. And at the end of the hallway, there's a big wooden door. And next to the door, it looks like the door is just being shut because there's a big robed figure, pretty large and hulking. Everyone roll perception as this figure is like closing the doors.
There we go.
Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
You canceled my meme, Magnus.
There's a really big figure in front of you. Let's see. Ignis, you see a red glow on... I'm sorry, a green glow. A bright green glow on the door about eye level with this character, with this person, as they begin to turn around. And when they turn around... as you turn around, you recognize that there's a very large warforged as they turn around, and you guys recognize he called himself Grieve when you met him in High Oron. He turns around and sees you all. He just kind of looks you all over, and he's like,
What do you need down here?
Oh, we're here to protect you. Someone spotted a flying ship in the distance they believe may belong to the Liberators. So they sent us.
It was eating people.
Yeah. They sent us. They said go protect you.
A ship that's eating people?
That was the latest report, sir.
everyone.
Yeah, it was all like nom 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 nom.
That's your service.
I don't need a guard, thank you.
Well, have you ever gone up a ship that can eat you, or what?
I guess.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm underground in a building.
Right.
And the ship would be outside in the sky.
Yeah, for now.
Who are you exactly?
Well, the same, sir. There's troops amassing outside, flying ships. Everyone's concerned. We're here for your safety.
If you have other orders for us, we would gladly do them.
Ignis, since you're in the lead, he's going to walk up to you and kind of hold out his hand. He's like,
Let me see your identification.
I love making Steven nervous.
I'll try to like search myself or like pretend to search myself and be like, I must have lost it.
Oh boy. He's gonna put his hand on you. He's gonna be like,
So you mean to tell me you were sent to protect me, and yet none of you have identification? Does anyone have a shred of paperwork? Where are your orders?
In my inventory.
God, we'll pull out an illusion and make it real for a minute.
Okay, real quick. What does this illusion look like?
Well, I guess
need to know.
Have I seen any of these in I don't know in our searching around the the temple or anything?
Forgery kit? What is Rorin just gonna get down on the floor and hang on a second? I think you've seen an orders billet. Oh no, I'm sorry. You've seen a identification. You Webby had that "My name is Ped" name tag thingy. I'd say that was probably like the identification, right?
Okay.
Orak has all my stuff.
Something like that. What I've seen before. My name is Ped sort of thing, but with some sort of ID or I don't know. Orders. Go protect Grieve immediately. Do we not know his name is Greaves though?
You know it because he he was in the
High One, right?
Yeah.
I'll give him something similar to the ID card we saw. What was his name? Ped? Something similar to that says my name with a fake name, and I'll say we're given verbal orders, but if you don't need protection, then we'll go back to our regular duties, sir.
Okay, so you're walking up to him, is what you're saying.
Or is he walking to me? But I'll hold it.
He's 100% holding his ground. Like he's exuding that he is in charge here.
So you're approaching me.
Yeah. Rorin, why don't you make a religion check? Okay. The insignia of the Shrike's temple that he's got on there, like 100% you recognize, like Grieve, he's the archpriest of the temple.
Oh.
I'd be making sure to show all the due respect then, not looking directly at his eyes and, saying sir and acting like I'm really nervous just to be some lowly servant in his presence.
He takes the name tag from you and he looks it over. Does it say my name is Ped on there?
No, we'll say Ron Swanson. Is that like
Ron Swanson? He looks it over and roll a deception check. Okay. So he's going to look it over and be like,
Ron Swanson. You're not from my temple, are you?
No, sir.
Which temple are you from?
We're from, I'm from the temple over on Wind Bluff, but I just got transferred here.
How recently were you transferred here? Because wouldn't you have just gone to Rivershroud to help with the insurrection?
I was en route to Rivershroud, but my orders changed midway.
Interesting. Who gave those orders? May I see the affidavit?
I'm sorry, sir. I left that in my room.
You just got here today? You already have a assigned room?
It's more of a tent, sir.
I'm just delaying the inevitable. He's looking at Ignis. He's still got his hand on Ignis's shoulder, and he's like,
you can go. I need to speak with your associate here.
As he looks at Ignis. So he looks at Ignis and he's like,
you're clearly a soldier. Why aren't you out on the plateau? There's other resources that can be spared to, as you say, protect me. But you look like you should be with the main assault force. So tell me why someone of your stature would be here instead of out there.
Just following what I received from the higher-ups.
And who is that?
I didn't get his name.
Okay, so he's going to immediately punch with an open fist, just like directly into your chest. Just, I'm assuming that hits. So he's going to do 14 radiant damage to you, as his eyes shine extremely bright. Now we're gonna go into everyone roll initiative. You know what? I'm sorry. Before he attacks, Ignis, make a insight check on him, so I'm not just like dealing damage to you without giving you a chance to potentially avoid the. Okay, yeah. I think he very handily smacks you.
Kick his ass, Liberators.
Jeff, what's your dexterity? It doesn't matter. It's not higher than Greaves.
Wow.
That would be like someone asking what if whose was higher, Landis's or anyone else's.
I'll have you know, my dexterity is proportionate. Okay.
Okay, sorry. So the first thing that happens here is that as you guys are facing Grieve, off to your right, a bright blue, like, glow sort of appears off to Grieve's left, all to your right.
Here, back.
And then Grieve's going to take a look at Ignis. And he's going to go ahead and take another punch.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and spend a Kai point to make 2 more unarmed strikes on you.
Oof.
Each of those hits, so first damage, second damage, third damage. And then he's going to take his extra attack. Hit you again. And then they spend another Kai point for flurry of blows.
Jesus.
So basically, Grieve turns into a blender and hits Ignis a bunch. Does that 17 touch you?
Yeah, my armor class is 16.
Oh. So for a total of many. Wow, that's a lot. So he hits you really hard, really fast. And then we'll go to Jeff's turn.
Ooh, cloud of daggers.
Wow, that's all ones. You rolled 4d4 full of ones. That is... Roll that. Please roll that again. That's embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm just kidding. I don't know why it's your fault.
You're savage tonight.
That's better. That's something.
Okay, all 2s.
2 1s. You got 1 4 in there.
Okay. He'll take 8 damage. Does that surround him in any fashion? Is that going to affect Ignis, or is it just him?
That'll just be him.
Okay. Is that all you want to do?
No, I'm gonna move.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Korak, it goes to you.
Okay. How high is the ceiling in here?
It's probably like 30 feet high. It's kind of like a hallway.
Okay. And then these pillars on the side of us here, those go up into the ceiling?
No, those are like old stone caskets. It's like this used to be a crypt of some kind.
Electric blast.
Oh, I like how it tells you guys what it is, but not the fucking attack. Thanks, for
That last one hits.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he gets pushed back. Ah.
Yeah, I do want to push him in a straight line so Ignis can incur an attack of opportunity. That should be 15 damage. Or no, excuse me, that should be 9 damage. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. So we'll move to Rorin.
Alright, then I'll cast this right in front of Grieve. Or, on top of him, so it does damage to him.
A dex save, huh?
Dex
I
save.
hope he rolls really bad.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. No.
So he's still taking 15, I guess we'll say 16 rounded up.
Meanwhile, Rorin is still cowering behind this corner.
Ah! Okay. Is that all you want to do?
Quick question though, what's with the big old gray square in the middle?
It's like a big glowing, bright white blue light that just appeared next to Grieve.
Oh. Okay. Nope. I got nothing else.
Okay. Then we'll move to Gob.
Okay. Gob. Well, I guess I'll cast the spell first, then move. I'm gonna cast Mental Prison.
Ooh.
Oh.
Intelligence. Saving throw.
Oh.
Whoa.
That was only
no.
So it still takes the 27, but nothing else happens to it.
What you got? We got
It's pretty sweet.
Burning those high level spots.
Gotta check his abilities. This is good. We're learning that.
You're probing.
Dexterous, then yeah.
Okay.
And then Gob's gonna move kind of behind cover of the crypt thing.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it for him.
Okay. Then Ignis, we're to you.
Let's not get any low rolls now. Okay, first I'm gonna move up to him and attack 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay, that 28 will hit. Awesome.
I'm gonna just do action surge to. Okay. Yeah, I'll attack 3 more times then.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
Those 2 hit, yeah.
Killed him in 1 hit.
I'm gonna do second. Yeah, it's a bonus action.
Keep
Just
swinging.
get some health back.
Yeah.
And then there's that. That's probably my turn then.
Okay. Before we move to Grieve, that shimmering light wavers a little bit as a Warforged leg steps through. Then you see a Warforged arm reach into the room. But then, a human man steps through. His face is covered by a white mask with black triangles above and below the eye slit. You think you know this man, but you've never met him before. His name is Jackal.
Hello, Grieve.
Just behind Jackal, Medusa steps into the room. They both look ready for a fight. Grieve looks over as Jackal enters. Everybody, welcome to the fight.
Glad to be here.
Oh wait, that wasn't recording. He's actually here. I thought that was recording.
You have no idea how much we planned this.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah. Wow. It is now your turn.
All right. I'll go ahead and use Energy Beam, set to fire, and he needs to make a DC 18 Dex save.
All right. Ooh, that was close. Okay.
Oh,
Does
yeah, with that 12 kicker, that was so close.
Yeah. Well, it was close to not making it. So, for those of you here who don't really know the Quellists all that well, as far I don't know how much how much of this how much of their story you guys have been following, but basically Jackal got caught in an explosion that took both his legs and his arm, and then for those of you who weren't, obviously, because Aaron and Danny and Chris are all in
an explosion he caused.
Yeah, he caused. They defeated the Quellists defeated the Warmaster Pauldron, and then literally stole his body and took his legs and arm off to give to Jackal so that he could create like the next new body. So here we have Mecha Jackal.
Pauldron, who happens to be Grieve's brother.
It seems like we're your sibling.
Hurt him with his brother's body.
Yeah.
Make him bleed.
Did that beam do any damage, or did Grieve avoid it all?
No, he Matrix dodged that.
Okay.
Like he's up against a wall. Okay. If that's all Jackal wants to do.
That's it for this turn.
Okay. Well, Grieve's attention has now been thoroughly taken by one specific person in this room. So he's going to disregard Ignis and move out of the range if you'd like to take an attack of opportunity.
Well, sure. Nope.
I thought you were holed up on a perch somewhere in Cloudhead.
He says as he swings at you.
Oh, that'll hit.
Flurry of blows. So let's see. First one. And then his next 2 attacks for using his Kai point. Yeah, 13 radiant. Does the 17 hit?
Yeah. My armor class is 16.
Okay. Man, this action economy is getting sparse for me.
So that was, I think that's 41 damage.
We're gonna move to Jeff's turn.
I'm going to cast that and spend sorcery points so that you have to spell save against that with disadvantage.
Ooh.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I might as well just go fuck myself.
Still take half damage at least?
Like the dex saves from now on, guys.
Half damage. There's a big old wall of fire erupts, and Grieve steps out of the way, but his cloak catches a flame. Korak, that's to you.
Need a probe. What's the range on this? 60 feet? I should be good. Yeah. Kind of flavor this. hold out both my hands and kind of strain for a little while as something clearly uncomfortable is happening as I'm trying to cast a necromantic spell, but it's just taking a little more energy because my pact is all messed up right now. Have the spell card. Get a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay.
How's this con looking? Ooh.
So you rolled a 2.
I still failed. Either way it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's still a plus 12, though. Okay. Okay.
Plus 12, yeah.
Good to know. Okay, so yeah, it's just 31 necrotic damage. But yeah, I don't know how you want to flavor that, but I'm definitely using a spell from my packed spell list, so I don't know if it's just like, it's harder for me to cast it, but I cast it.
There's definitely like a strain that comes over you as you cast this. It feels unfamiliar, the way that you're casting it this time, because it's not power flowing from the sources that you've been used to. But it still comes out. And yeah, it's no problem. Grieve, for whatever that's worth, is starting to look not so great.
Alright, that's all I got. Cool.
Rorin, that is to you.
Alright, from this corner, I believe I have a good eye range on Grieve. Actually, I'll just move, just in case. And as long as I got nobody blocking me, I yell at everyone, look at the ground.
That's ominous.
Looking at the ground, it is the floor.
And then I cast Sunbeam directly at Grieve.
The floor is lava.
And I believe that does save.
Crap, Grieve saves.
Grieve hurt him.
He's a Warmaster who's lost three brothers. And they get stronger every time.
I brought part of one back to him.
Now beat him to death with it.
So he is not blinded, but he does take damage from the sunlight that just came forth from my staff.
My special eyes.
So yes, he takes half damage.
Is that to Gob then?
Yeah.
Okay. Gob's gonna come out from hiding, looking at the floor, like Rorin said, but he's gonna glance up enough to try to cast.
Oh, and then Rorin yells, "Okay, it's all right. You all can look up."
I'm gonna try to cast Hold Person.
Oh boy.
It's a Wisdom save. Let's see it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we've done that yet.
Yeah. What's the save on it?
17.
17.
What's your roll? Ah, shit.
Only plus 8 for wisdom, though.
We learned something here today. And I'm gonna tuck behind this corner over here, out of sight a little bit, and yeah, that'll be it for now.
Okay. All right. We go to Medusa. Welcome back to the fight. Very quickly, I will describe the events that happened. So Medusa, that door began to open, and you thought, that door, wait a minute, I know that door. That's either the Archpriest or the High Inquisitor. And when it opened up, you saw Jackal, who has Warforged feet, ergo Warforged footfalls that are slightly lighter than you're used to hearing. Jackal was holding a small key. I don't remember what it looks like.
It's a signet ring.
The signet ring, thank you. He has a signet ring that he had pressed into a groove on the door. And the signet ring is the same symbols and of like that's on the door. You recognize that Jackal used to be the High Inquisitor of the Shrike Temple before he defected. He very quickly explained that a djinn named Malachi had brought him into the temple because he was told that you needed help.
Yeah, trying to free this stone from this altar.
And then you guys were looking around the room for a moment, kind of checking out everything, and then you heard Grieve moving in for a fight with some people above in the level above, and so Jackal used his Nomad Gate to take you out of the room where you entered this fight.
Finish him, Medusa.
Pretty sure my gaze isn't going to affect a Warforged. Okay, I guess I'm going to hit him with my warhammer.
Yeah.
And where is it?
Mjolnir.
I'm gonna put a divine smite into it.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, only 7 bludgeoning, 13 radiant damage. I'm going to give him a extra attack. Now, if I do an extra attack, I can't do it again with smite, can I?
That's a good question. I don't.
I think that's all I can do. Oh, really? I didn't know that. So there's an extra D8 for each of those smites, actually.
Oh,
So I'm
nice. Okay, yeah. Roll 2
more
yeah.
D8s. So take 15
Ooh.
damage, and that should be the end of my turn. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I don't get in a lot of combats.
Take all the time you need, brother.
Figuring out this character.
Yeah, no, I like it. That was a solid
It's a lot
round
of
right there.
It's a lot of damage.
Excellent. So we go to.
Oh boy.
Ignis.
Yeah, I'm gonna try something that I probably should have been working with before. I try a trip attack with one of my attacks.
Ooh, dodge that, dude.
Oh yeah, that absolutely hits.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna attack 2 more times.
Finally.
Second one definitely.
Finally, doing some hits.
They need to do a strength saving throw, right? Otherwise, it's prone.
Yeah, strength saving throw, which I think mine is 18.
Ooh.
Nice.
Grief falls down and takes an axe to the face.
I love it.
Strength and wisdom.
I assume the 25 hits, so I'm gonna add precision attack to
Yeah, absolutely, it hits.
We just need
That's
a
another-
goddamn JoJo thing.
that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's my turn then.
Where exactly do you put this axe?
Guess just right on the back of his head since he's on the ground.
Go for the optics.
Smash him.
Okay, so you blast this axe right through his head, and then there's a bright green flash as you actually crack like the skull, his like metal skull, and you see a really bright green glow come out from like between the crack and the axe, and you hear him go, and then his eyes turn off.
Oh, hell.
Salad.
And we're gonna move to Jackal's turn. Grieve is out of the. He's dead.
At least he was a fan of good music.
But we're still in initiative.
We don't care for the quellist around here. Just kidding.
Go ahead and use 3 psi points for psionic restoration on myself. And the bonus action to use the psi points I spent to heal myself for another 3. I'll just say he called out for his brother.
Sabaton's his brother, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, should we wait for him here?
I think we're still in initiative, aren't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Oh, okay.
We'll move to Jeff. So it looks like Jeff casts Fly on Ignis.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I've always wanted to fly. Then we will move to Korak.
I guess I don't understand what we're combating against right now.
Well, currently nothing. But let me just say that every second matters currently.
Well, I'm going to assume that Sabaton is probably going to come from behind us. What was Grieve doing to the door when we came in? Did we see?
He was shutting it. He was like coming in from that room.
Oh, okay. Oh, and that's right. They came from the floor down below. Okay. I mean, I can't really think of anything to do besides like preparing an action, but I don't really know how that would benefit us.
Actually, that's probably smart for all of us to just prepare an action, and then when he comes back.
So those little parts of the room that have the coffins on them, are they raised above the ground or are they flat?
They're up on like small little dioceses.
If I were to like go back to this one, and attempt to go into stealth.
Do you want to use your action to do like what is it? The conceal action or
Yeah, I'll just spend my action going. I don't think I have any features for sneaking. I have a decent stealth, I guess. Yeah, I'll just spend my action trying to obscure myself.
Excuse me, Rorin. That's to you.
How's everybody feeling, health-wise?
I think the only one that got hit was Ignis like 1,000 times.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can probably use a potion.
Who has paladins in our group is or the fighters in our group would be Ignis, Medusa. Anyone else?
I think it's just us, yeah.
Okay. Ignis going to cast this on your weapon.
Ooh.
May it help better than it has in the past.
We move into the Gob.
Do I see anything on the ethereal plane?
You see. Oh, okay. Here we go. So around. I'm sorry, I didn't describe this sooner. I don't think it would have changed what you were doing, but
No.
Grieve definitely had like a really strange aura around him. Something really powerful that you're not used to seeing in pretty much anything. And when Ignis put his axe into the back of Grieve's head, Ignis is now surrounded by a very smaller portion of that aura. And you see, let's see, make I guess roll perception for me.
Yeah, Triclops.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you actually see what looks to be ripples of another portion of that aura coming from behind these doors.
Shout to Ignis. Ignis, back away from the door. Something's coming.
Okie dokie.
And then,
Ignis, the hardened soldier, okie dokie.
I guess I'll cast Blink and go into the ethereal plane and stay where I'm at. Okay. So in this turn, still on the material plane.
Okay.
That's it.
Medusa.
So, hearing that information from Gob, I think I'm going to stay where I am, close to Jackal, because it's kind of out from the main door, kind of off to the side there. And I guess I'll just prepare an action to attack whoever comes out of those doors. I don't think I could also prepare to shield Jackal from harm. I could either choose to attack or defend.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, I'll just prepare to attack whatever comes out of those doors, and that'll end my turn.
Okay. Ignis, we go to you.
I'm gonna back up. Are potions a regular action?
You know, that's like the age-old question. I have no earthly clue. I believe the answer is yes. But...
Yeah, moved away. I think that's probably my turn then.
Before we get back to Jackal, the door where Ignis was just standing is kicked open very hard, and there stands a really tall, spindly-looking Warforged with bright red eyes, and he looks down at Gauntlet's body, and then he surveys the room, and I think he's only got, let's see if my calculations are correct from where he was, because you guys were fighting for what, 3 rounds total? So a total of like 18 seconds?
He went down second round, I think.
Was it second round?
Yeah.
Okay. So 12 seconds of fighting. I think I've still got 10 feet of movement left after he enters the door. So like, let's say he was here, he kicked open the door, he walked here. I think I have 10 feet of movement left. And I'm going to use that to walk over to Rorin. And then a large blade extends from his forearm as he swings his arm blade at you.
My armor class is 17.
Oh, nice. Okay. So he takes a swipe at you, and yeah, I don't. He just doesn't hit you. We're gonna go ahead and move to Jackal's turn.
Does Medusa get an attack? Wasn't Medusa waiting?
Oh yeah, when she saw something, right? Yeah, the readied action.
Yeah. So am I allowed to step close to him and attack him, or?
I think the readied action comes when he's within range.
But yeah, I don't think I can attack him from here.
Okay. So we'll go to Jackal's turn.
New token.
Here, move it off that real quick. I'll delete the other one.
I'll take a step forward anyway. So I'll step forward to there, and then myself and the 4 Liberators standing up in the north end of this room all turn invisible.
Oh,
Yeah.
Step from sight. And I'm using 7 psi points for that, and as a reaction, recovering 7 hit points. And that will end my turn.
nice. So attacks with advantage for us, I guess.
As soon as you attack, you'll become visible, but you'll have advantage on that first attack, yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, so you made everyone invisible. Are we going to Jeff right after that?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're invisible too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All 5 of us up there are invisible now.
Jeff spreads his shiny new wings and flies again. Not for the first time.
Well, they would be shiny if you could see them.
That's true. Out of curiosity, does he have spell sculpting?
Unless he angled it in a way that wouldn't,
For what?
For the fireball that he cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of his.
Okay, cool. Cool. You know what? I think we went over that before. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, cool, excellent. Thank you. We go to Korak. Yes.
I'm back. Is Tyrick in here too?
Yeah, he's been in here for a while. I didn't.
As far as I know, I'm just listening in on you guys. It'd be a surprise to me too if I show up in this fight. So
He's been invisible in this room the entire time.
It'd be a surprise to me too.
Tyrick will remember that.
I acknowledge I plan ahead for a lot of shit, but that wasn't something that I thought I planned for. But who knows?
Oh boy. Well, I think from this angle that casket's gonna be in the way, so I'm probably gonna have to poke my head around like over here. And now it's not letting me long click. Like this kind of area. What do you want me to roll to kind of sneak up there before I try casting something?
Okay, sorry. Roll stealth.
Well, I just fall on my
Korak
fucking
couldn't call
face.
that.
Korak's stepping on ducks the whole way. Wah, wah, wah.
Why are they even here?
Alright, let's roll 20. I was gonna say, he
Have we
just
done any
showed up.
damage?
He just showed up before Jeff's turn, right?
Yeah, Jeff did some damage to him.
Okay. Oh shit! What do we want to do?
This guy, I don't know if I didn't really properly describe him because I got caught up in telling you that I hadn't commissioned a picture of him yet. He looks like he's built like a dagger. He's very spiky and spindly. Very slight, not super tall, but yeah, built like every inch of him was meant to cause pain.
Right.
Kind of like a tiny little Shrike. Yeah, that's not a bad way of putting it.
Wow.
I shall call you Mini Shrike.
You will be mine.
In that case, we'll just glass cannon it. Do my last spell slot here. So I like sneak out and I just like fall on my face, so he clearly sees me walking across this little raised platform. And like as I like lean up on my side, I'm just like fuck. I like hold out one of my fingers, and again it takes me a minute to fire the spell off, but eventually it fires.
I don't think that saves.
Did you flip him off?
Finger of death.
It's always that spell is always cast with Korak's middle finger. So 65 necrotic damage.
This should just be the Quellis theme for now on.
We move into Rorin's turn.
So I'm invisible. Can I roll a melee attack like with advantage because of that?
I believe so.
He's just, standing right next to me.
Hang on. Let me just make sure. He has the alert feat, so no.
Well, whatever. He is like right next to me.
Do it. Hit him with the sword.
Hit him with my sword. Two-handed, of course. Ugh.
Of course. I am so sorry, Rorin. That does not hit, but only barely.
Bit on his middle face. Bonus section.
Since that failed, I
think you're visible now that you've attacked him.
Spray a little bit of fire on his face.
Hang on a second. Let's see. Something feels wrong about this. Did you add your +5 for the sword? That's with your special sword, right?
Yeah. It rolled
the attack modifier and your proficiency, which makes sense. But it's a +5 sword.
Well, it looks like I rolled a 7, so...
Hang
7
on.
plus 3 plus 5.
Well, 5 is his proficiency, 3 is his strength. That all matches up.
But the sword itself just has plus 5?
Oh.
But the sword itself is also a +5 sword.
So why isn't it not rolling the
that'd be
sword?
20. That's so true.
Yeah, something felt weird about that because I could have sworn that... Alright, so you hit. Roll damage.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. I know what happened here. You clicked on the wrong longsword. Okay, whoopsies.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Oopsie
I see there's
poopsie.
2 sets.
Yeah, let me get rid of the bad one. And let me move
Okay.
the other one up to the top of your list. How about I do that?
I do kind of find the mental picture of him just casually reaching past his fancy magical sword and drawing an ordinary longsword.
Rory, what are you doing? Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna hit with my lawn sword. Sword! Remember that one that's really important that was given to you? No, I got this.
Wait, I produced my other sword. Don't move.
Guys, trust me. I think I know my swords. Okay.
Oh my god.
This is why I had 400 pounds of crap on me the other day.
Well, you also have, holy crap, 11,900 gold?
Jesus Christ.
I haven't bought a thing.
Rorin's leaving craters in the ground when he walks.
The fucking hoarder.
That's my weapon. That's the one I wanted.
25 to hit.
Harm. So wait, I'm sorry. Which one are you doing? Are you attacking with harm, or is that a bonus action?
Sorry. So I wanted to retcon all the longsword, and then I clicked longsword two-handed, and so yes, harm. I don't know where harm came from.
I don't either. Are we moving to Gob's turn? Because you definitely did
Go ahead.
Good spell of damage to him.
Yeah, I would hope so. With a magic sword, and he's right next to me. Not like I missed
I
him
knew something
on the
looked
first
wrong
try.
with that. I was like, that attack does not look like it used to look. What happened?
You've changed sword.
Alright.
Not for the better.
Is it Gob's turn? Alright, Gob's gonna do a sweet little roll on the ground to get over here so that Ignis is out of the way, and then he's gonna cast Lightning Bolt. So lightning's gonna streak from his hand, 3rd level, right towards what was this guy's name?
Sabaton.
Sabaton. So it should hit him and only him, but he can make a dex save to take half of it.
Dex save?
Yeah. Lightning Bolt.
Dex is his good one.
And then I'm gonna roll back to my place of cover.
Does he take half damage from that?
He takes half, yeah. So that's it for Gob.
Okay.
Just a lightning bolt.
Okay, Medusa, we go to you.
Yes. Move over there. Going to attack him. This is 16 hit.
Yes, it does.
Oh, cool. And they're 11 and let's see. Where is it? Okay, that'll be at 3rd level, but because of improved divine smite, it's going to be 4d8. So 20 radiant damage with the bludgeoning and extra attack. Gonna hit him again. Oh, another 16. Cool. This will be my last 3rd level smite. And with another 20 radiant damage.
Dang.
And I'm just gonna like bane on my shield and then get ready to attack again once it's my turn.
So is that 62 damage?
So much damage.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Let's see our absolute unit with all the mods.
Yeah.
All right, Ignis, you're up.
I'm gonna attack him with the trip attack again. Too many of these here. There you go. That's an 18. Nice. So he fails that.
Oh, man.
And I think you still have your holy weapon.
And
Yeah.
mod
So
on
does
it?
that on top of a superiority dice? So that'd be 3d8 on top of the damage.
So is it like it's just this trip of like holy smite?
Jesus Christ.
So that's my first attack. I'll attack again. That hits. I'll do precision attack again. Add another D8, and then
Ignis has
that's
killed
another
it.
3 D8.
Look at Ignis just adjusted his anime glasses.
He's just trying to one up Medusa.
Oh,
62, I could beat that.
57, he's right there.
Your attack was pretty good, but we could do better.
Then my third attack.
Oh my
I assume hits.
2 attacks, that's cute. Let me do 3.
I got one more die, or I got one more superiority die, so I might as well do a precision attack again. Which is another 3d8.
And were all of them with the holy weapon?
Yeah, that's what the 3d8 is.
Okay.
One superiority, and then the 2d8s for the radiant damage.
Oh, so you're the one who killed my brother.
And that'll turn.
So 76 damage.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about that?
Oh.
Only 76.
Okay, so we're gonna go to. Are you doing anything else, or is that it?
That's all.
Okay, we're gonna go to Sabaton's turn.
So is he tripped right now?
Yeah, he's not.
Rorin died.
And if I stand up, everyone gets an opportunity attack, and he is surrounded.
This is good for Bitcoin.
Okay, since he's prone, let's see, Jackal, Medusa, Ignis, and Rorin. I'm gonna need you guys to make an intelligence saving throw. As Sabaton screams, spell save is 20.
Oh my gosh.
I was one off.
So let's see, half damage. So 14d6 psychic damage. So everyone who saved will not be stunned. Oh, you know what? I pushed the wrong thing. Let me do that. So anyone who didn't save is going to take 25... excuse me. Everyone who saved is going to take 25 damage and won't be stunned. But everyone who did not save is going to take 50 damage, and you are now stunned. So just the 4 of you here. Does Jackal have any abilities for resisting psychic damage?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. There's a throwback.
What year is this?
Singular.
Now you guys are all stunned. He's gonna stand up. Ignis isn't stunned, but he's still gonna stand up.
So that's an opportunity of attack?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that is.
Could you trip him again with that attack?
No, I'm at a die. Superiority die. Just trip him again, right?
I don't think I can do anything else. So, yeah, we're gonna move on to Jackal's turn.
And then use Hammer of Inquisition with 7 side points. It's an intelligence save of 18.
He's not all that smart.
Oh,
You know, Mr. Krabs.
Oh my god.
That
You
just
feel it now?
hit?
Is that the damage? 39?
Psychic damage.
Wowzers.
And reaction absorbing the 7 side points I used as hit points.
That's kind of awesome. It's good having Jackal back in the mix.
Yeah, it's nice playing him again.
I like this guy.
You hear Gally? Yeah, me too, bro. He sounds pretty cool. Okay.
Just watching through the cathedral window.
Don't give me ideas.
Hey, God. You guys are doing great.
Hey, bros, it sounded like you're having a lot of fun. Oh my
Is that
god.
how we're leaving after this? Getaway action sequence.
Oh my god. Okay. Jackal, as you bring your psychic hammer of Inquisition, excuse me, down on Sabaton's head, does anything how does he die?
Yes.
Well, it's purely psychic damage. There's nothing physical about it. So the light just shuts off and he falls over.
Yeah. So let me just put it this way. He went in negative 37.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you guys, we might have to stop before midnight. I don't know. And oh, he's dead.
The age-old DM trick. We're now out of initiative order. Well done, everybody. You just killed 2 Warmasters in 4 rounds.
Thank you, Quillis.
Damn.
You losers.
Jeez, 4 hours ago, you said those losers.
Gob still says that, but
Can I look for weird keys? Can I do that during this time?
Weird keys.
Yeah, for
make
kind of altars.
Yeah, make an investigation roll.
Oh, could someone help me with that? I have a 3.
Investigation, mine's 2.
Who's better at investigation? Not Jeff. Not Jeff. Ignis.
Rorin wants to spend an hour resurrecting one of the Warmasters?
I want to look for.
I didn't mean to
keys.
hit that.
Thank you.
So what did you tell them? What are they looking for? What did you tell them that they're looking for? That
A key the shape of a torch handle.
Yeah. For this weird altar that has a stone on it. It's warded.
Okay, well, I think that Medusa's going to be able to figure it out by looking over, and when you're like looking around the room, you pass by Rorin, and you happen to notice that his staff is roughly about the size of the hole. His little wooden.
We had the key all along.
So,
It was friendship.
While everyone's looking for this key, I'm gonna pry the brain chips out of these Warforged and stick them in the book box.
Okay, yeah, it's very easy to pull the one out of Grieve, because his skull is literally split open. In fact, it's like got such a big gash in it that you're basically just reaching down into his head and pulling it right out.
Just using Mystic Hand, telekinetically just float it out of there.
I love it.
Like, yoink.
Mine. Okay, and then the other one takes a little bit to figure out how to get it to undo itself without cutting yourself. Oh wait, you're using the hand, so never mind. It's all good. It's all good. And yeah, would you guys like?
That's enough to level up, right?
To do.
Take Rorin to unlock that altar to free the stone, if possible.
Okay, yeah. So this is a hallway you remember, Medusa. It takes you just a few minutes to get down there. You don't run into any other traffic. You assume that past the doors that the 2 Warmasters came from is pretty much like restricted territory. Probably only used by the Warmasters, maybe some like other high-ranking Shrike officials. Jackal, I think, obviously you know your way around this place. So like, what is this interaction like now that you guys are like all together? Medusa, you ran through a portal that a god created and followed him, trying to flip him off. The rest of you came to rescue, and then you ran into one of the Quellis, who...
I'm sorry, did you refer to him as a god?
Wait, I'm sorry. I meant when you ran out of Reardon's house after Garasil.
Oh, gotcha.
Garasil's a god.
You were referring to Jackal. I'm like, what? I was a god all along.
Thanks for your help there, buddy.
You're quite
I'm
welcome.
Gob.
Jackal, good to meet you.
Jackal says, I know.
Sorry about it.
Thanks for bringing Medusa back to us, too.
Hey, waves.
Absolutely.
Guys came in at a good time.
I heard what happened, and I figured I could help, especially when Malachi showed up.
You're a friend of Malachi?
Apparently. I wasn't aware of it, but I guess I am.
Well, any friend of Malachi is a friend of mine.
But I'll admit I knew what was happening before I ever spoke to Malachi.
And how do you feel about Shrike Templists?
I left for a reason.
So...
You left?
Okay.
Well, I guess we're on the same side then. Thanks for your help.
Soren Ibari, High Inquisitor.
Oh.
Whoa.
So you probably know where we could find the goddess that's in this temple then, don't you?
Gemstone that your friend here was trying to pry out of a wall.
You know how to get it free?
That's not information that Kitch ever decided to share with me.
Oh, maybe we could figure it out.
Yeah, let's go check it out. Let's see if we can get this piece.
While we're here, if any of you happen to come across a silver diamond-shaped gemstone that floats just slightly off the surface it's placed on, let me know. And
Will do.
Asa, where do I last remember having seen the Codex of the Nomad?
It would be in the direction you guys are going to be heading.
Perfect.
Do we want to play just a little bit longer to get to like the next?
Unlock the altar. Free the stone.
The next area.
Yeah, let's sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was kind of surprised no one was
Medusa's really trying to open the Christmas present.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go help
At
Medusa.
the Shrike Temple, it's Christmas early.
Okay, so you guys continue down this hallway. You go into the next section. You take a couple turns. You go down another set of stairs, and then you see the door. Medusa and Jackal, you see the door that. Well, I guess Soren knows he was just there, opening that door to go into the room that Medusa was in. Well, further down and to the left is a small room that you remember the Codex being in. The last time that you'd ever been down here. And if you go to check it out, it's not there anymore. But the power of that thing, it leaves a mark, right? And so it was here, and it was here recently.
Well, it's been moved, so onward to the goddess.
Okay. You guys find yourself in the far end of this room. You're somewhere over here. This is a pretty big vaulted room. Medusa, you've been in here already. You see this little pathway that goes up. It's like a catwalk of some kind. And there's little arches where you can walk underneath it, except for the arch here only goes partway in before it's covered in rubble. It's also worth mentioning that these pieces here, it's not immediately obvious. These are on the top. They are pillars that go up to the roof, and they're only on the one side. And then you can see the statues that I was describing earlier. There's one of these panes of stained glass is shattered on the floor here, and light is streaming down. But what's crazy is that the hole that the light is coming out of is actually a really small hole, but it somehow amplifies when it exits. There's got to be some kind of a network of mirrors that goes up to the surface to cast light down through the stained glass pieces.
I want to look for anything cool, being that we're down, in the middle of the Shrike Temple. If there's anything noteworthy, either in the broken up bits of it, or I don't know, investigating anything else cool in the room.
The biggest thing that draws your attention, specifically you, Gob, other than the aura that now surrounds Jackal, that you had also seen around Sabaton. It's like a weaker version of that aura. The biggest thing that catches your attention here is that a big glow somewhere around the altar that you recognize. You also see that same glow coming off of the stones in Rorin's staff. So you recognize that shard is in there.
Okay. I would tell the rest of the group something along those lines. I'd go towards the altar.
You cross underneath the archway. You get up to the altar, and you see the stone. I guess real quick before we do this, is there anything anyone else wants to do?
I did tell Rorin to use the staff on the altar, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'd move up behind Rorin to see exactly what's going to happen.
What is this over here? I don't know if you see my green circle. Or red circle. I don't know what color it is, but
the statue in there with its palm out.
Yeah. Is there something in the palm, or is that just?
That's you being able to see into the jam layer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I didn't know.
I'll go check out
It's like that
extended
time,
palm.
the time with the yurt herders when I was like, Rorin, you're casting True Seeing
On myself.
on yourself. Man, Rorin likes to see some shit. Okay, so Rorin, this room comes into sharp focus, and the whole place is, it's like filled to the brim with a divine energy. Gob, you can't really see what Rorin's seeing because it permeates past it's not quite the ethereal plane. This is like a different kind of magic on a different plane, but it's still permeating into the physical realm that Rorin can see with the True Seeing. Rorin, do you put your staff into the altar?
Yeah, I'll walk up to the altar and place a staff in.
Okay. As soon as you slide the staff in, you feel like there's been a connection made as all the gemstones glow really brightly that are entwined in the branches of your staff. And then the divine energy in the room solidifies in a sense. Everyone can feel this. It gets really thick and soupy in here. Like, it's very difficult to move. And you hear a laugh, just this deep rumbling. And Korak, you recognize your father's voice as he goes,
I said, what the hell are you doing?
And you all get blasted back out to here. A yellow barrier appears right here. And the ethereal, like true form of Garasil appears on the other side of the barrier. Not a man in a suit. Not a tentacled horror either. Just sort of this indescribable blob of divine energy. And he looks, you can tell that he's looking in your direction. And he's like,
thanks for bringing these to me. I'll dispose of them now.
And we'll end there for tonight. Because I know that Michael's got some work tomorrow, and I would love to keep going, but I think that this fight's going to take a fair bit longer than the last one.
Next game, I want to punch Death in the schnoz.
Wait, who was holding all the little rock?
What? Still has the staff, right? Which has all the gems.
Oh, we got blasted back. Oh, okay.
So the staff is still on the other side of the barrier, right?
Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yes.
Oh. Where's Korak?
Wait, so could he not make a strength save to see if he held on to it when he got blown backwards?
He could hold on to it all he wanted, but it's not coming with. It's like glued in there.
Shenanigans.
That yellow energy wall is made of plot.
He might have held on to it, but he'd be leaving some fingers behind.
So Garasil's on the other side of this yellow, so we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Next time.
Don't worry, Rorin. We've got probably some few spare fingers from the Warforged.
I have a few spell slots left.
So I won't have any parents left after next session.
Hey, I haven't had my parents for a lot of sessions, so deal with it. All right?